Today we're going to learn and review, because you already know, about area and circumference of circles. And we're going to work some problems out. First of all, let's talk about circumference and what circumference is. Circumference is the distance around the outside of the circle. So if you were to have a circle and take a string and go from the starting point all the way around, it's that measurement. We can use the formula circumference equals pi times diameter. Remember, diameter is the distance through the center of the circle from one side to the other. Or it can be 2 times pi times the radius, because we know that 2 times the radius is the diameter, so these formulas are the same. Okay, so let's work a couple problems. We're going to work it using 3.14 for pi. We're going to also work it using in terms of pi. That means we're not going to plug a number in there for pi. We'll just leave the symbol. So first let's start out with a radius of 4. 4 inches, 4 centimeters, it doesn't matter. Since I have the radius, I want to use the formula that deals with radius. And so the circumference of that circle is 2 times 3.14 times 4. And we want to go to 2 decimal places. Since we had 2 decimal places for pi, we know it's a non-ending number, non-terminating number. And we get 25 and 12 hundredths, 25.12. So that's real simple. You're just going to take the number and plug it in. Now, if we want to leave it in terms of pi, that means we're not going to plug the 3.14 for pi. I'm going to use the same radius. So circumference equals 2 times pi times 4. I'm simply going to multiply my 2 constants together, my 2 numbers. So circumference equals 8 pi. That's super duper easy. You just plug in numbers in. Okay, so let's go over here to area. Remember, area is what covers all the inside of the circle. So the formula is pi times the radius squared. This part is squared, not the pi. The radius is squared. So let's do the same circle, radius of 4. And first we'll use 3.14. So the area is 3.14 times 4 squared. You have to do this first. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You have to do the exponent first, so you have to square the radius first. If you put it in your calculator, make sure you use parentheses around that. And so the area of that circle is 50 and 24 hundredths, so 50.24. Now if I need to leave it in terms of pi, that means that I'm not going to plug 3.14 in for this symbol. So the area is pi times the radius squared. Pi times 4 squared. So I'm going to square that out. That's 16. So the area is 16 pi. All right, super duper easy. Now what happens if they don't give us the radius and we have to solve for the radius? So that's the next kind of problem we're going to see. Let's say the question asks you to find the circumference and the area of the circle is 20, we'll say A equals 25 pi. Okay, well, if the area is 25 pi, what I want to do is I want to substitute the area formula in here for A, pi r squared, and I want to solve it for r. So I'm going to rewrite this as pi times the radius squared equals 25 pi. And I'm solving for r, just like I would solve for x. So I'm going to divide both sides by pi. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And what I get is the radius squared equals 25. So then I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And I find out that the radius is 5. Okay, so woo, I did all that work and I think I'm done. No, I now need to take that radius and plug it into my circumference formula to find the circumference. So the circumference of the circle is 2 times pi times 5. I'm going to multiply the 2 and the 5 together. So the circumference of that circle is 10 pi. Alright, so sometimes we have to solve for the radius first and then take that radius and plug it back in. Same thing over here. What if they give me the circumference, but I need to find the area? So let's say that I have a circumference of 12 pi. And I need to find the radius because the radius is the number that I plug into this formula. So I'm going to take the circumference formula right here and plug it in for C. So 2 times pi times radius equals 12 pi. Now remember, I'm solving for the radius, so I'm going to divide by 2 pi. And when I divide by 2 pi, 12 divided by 2 is 6, and the pi's cancel out, so the radius is 6. We're not done. We need to find the area of the circle now that we have the radius. So the area of the circle is pi times the radius squared, so pi times 6 squared. 6 squared is 36, so the area is 36 pi. And it's that simple. You're just plugging in numbers in the formula. Sometimes we have to work backwards from the formula. Take really good notes. If you have any questions, make sure that you bring them to class tomorrow.